Well, neighbors in North Sacramento say they are sick and tired of being used as a dumping ground. Literally, they see piles of trash and unwanted items left in their neighborhood by people who refuse to dispose of it properly. Now, after countless pleas for help to the city, these neighbors tell ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen they're fed up and calling for change. Tonight, Jeannie shares with us their concerns and how the city is responding.
Ramona Landeros has called North Sacramento home since the 1970s. She and her family have worked hard to establish roots in the Del Paso Heights neighborhood. But seeing her home be a dumping ground is a difficult reality to face.
They're dumping everything from refrigerators to furniture, anything that they don't want to pay for at the dump. We basically get it in our neighborhoods.
Public records show 2 zip codes saw a majority of illegal dumping calls to 311 for nearly 2 years.
There's little trash piles everywhere.
The city received more than 3,100 inquiries in 95838 and more than 2,600 to the 95815 zip code.
These are one of many down the street.
These areas are typically considered low income and have a large non-English speaking community.
Just because we live in Del Paso Heights doesn't mean we don't care. It doesn't mean that we're going to accept this.
The city received 237 calls of illegal dumping along Rio Linda Boulevard in the span of 2 years, 161 reports on Harris Avenue, and 135 reports on Roanoke Avenue.
You know, I can be driving down Del Paso Boulevard here and everything's fine, and then later in the afternoon there's already a pile of garbage there. People do it in broad daylight.
Our team caught people dumping illegally in broad daylight on Rio Linda Boulevard.
Everybody has a little garden across the street. We all take our time out to come and cultivate our flowers and our plants.
The Altos Avenue neighborhood garden is a point of pride for Nancy Azevedo, but it wasn't always the case.
In the past year, this dumping just became outrageous. And it's just so disgusting.
She and her neighbors have called 311 many times and brought their issues to city council meetings. Records show there were more than 100 calls to 311 about illegal dumping on Altos Avenue. Azevedo believes the city prioritizes certain neighborhoods over others.
Well, our taxes aren't as high as, say, Land Park, so we don't get as much services. Well, that just doesn't seem right to us, so we've organized.
Azevedo formed her own cleanup crew who also maintains this neighborhood garden. While the city reimburses for some cleanup efforts and acknowledged Azevedo with the certificate for taking initiative, she and other residents feel the city does not follow through on 311 calls and are calling for more accountability.
It doesn't seem like the city cares because we don't feel that they're doing enough for our community. They've got to start doing something, whatever it takes. You know, they kind of depend on people to call it in, and people don't want to get involved because they're afraid of retaliation.
Even though residents here in North Sacramento are fed up with all of the illegal dumping, city officials do say there are deterrents in place to try to curb the problem.
We have cameras which are located around the city, and we'll kind of identify a hotspot and then put a camera there.
The city's Public Works Department says it relies on people reporting dumping issues to 311, and crews aim to address the problem within 3 days.
People who do call those in can get up to $1,000. So $500 to $1,000 could be awarded to someone who gives us information leading to a citation or some kind of administrative penalty being given to an illegal dumper.
But the city acknowledges there is a problem primarily in North Sacramento, the District 2 area, adding that the people doing the dumping usually live within the neighborhood.
Kind of focusing our efforts there, focusing cameras there, focusing advertising so that people know to call into 311 and feel empowered to call about their own neighborhood.
A longtime resident of District 2 himself, Councilmember Roger Dickinson says he understands the ongoing issues his neighborhood has experienced over the years.
I've suggested the idea of even having the city assign a refuse truck that would just tour through neighborhoods that are victimized by illegal dumping and just be there to pick it up when it happens.
He says he'll be working to make some long-term and effective changes and promises residents will see changes soon.
It's about time, and now we see something for the better happening.
And with a large Hispanic community in the area, Dickinson says he'll work on making resources available for Spanish speakers. All of this in hopes of taking back the neighborhood they love.
We want them to be proud of the neighborhood they live in and feel like, hey, I like living in my neighborhood.
We have some great community here, great neighbors, great neighborhoods, a lot of families that really do care about their homes.
In North Sacramento, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
The city currently has 5 code officers for city waste issues and is in the process of hiring one other. Again, the city urges residents to report illegal dumping to 311. Links on how to do that can be found on our website. That's abc10.com.